All right, Mr. Lee.
Hi, Chris. This is fall season, time we want to be thinking about planting our spring bulbs.
Okay, so what do we need to do to prepare our beds for those bulbs?
If you've got a bed, you want to loosen up, till it some so that it'd be easier to plant the bulbs. There are several different ways that you can plant the bulbs with several different tools.
Okay.
All of them work better if the ground has been tilled or loosened.
Okay. Now, what are some of the tools that we need to use?
Today, we have several different tools that you can use. We have a hand trowel if the soil is loose that you can pry out the soil and do it. A lot of stores sell this type of bulb planter that was an old-fashioned from standpoint. It's very hard to dig a hole if you don't have really loose soil. So if you have 3 or 4 bulbs, that might be fine. If you're planting 100 to 200 bulbs, that's pretty hard work.
It's going to be hard.
Hard work.
Okay.
Other tool we have today is one that has a drill that goes onto your regular portable drill that you can use in the yard. And that's very easy to drill a hole in loose soil.
Okay, I've actually used that before.
So everybody uses this.
Okay. All right. Now, what kind of bulbs will you be planting for us today?
We're going to be planting some tulip bulbs today, and we also have some narcissus that we can, daffodils that we can plant today.
Okay. Now, when is the best time to plant
Best time to plant is in late November and 1st of December.
Okay.
You want the soil temperature to draw down to about 50 degrees.
Okay.
And usually that's when the leaves have already turned and then we're starting fall and past peak color season.
All right. So you want to demonstrate to us how you put the bulbs in the ground?
Tulip bulb has a top that we want to make sure that that's up.
Okay.
And the roots on the bottom. We recently planted in the springtime, fall is because the roots are growing during the winter time to grow. Okay, we want to plant them. Here we had dug a hole. We're planting a multiple group of tulips so that we'll have a nice cluster in our landscape. It just won't be one individual planted in a row.
Now, how deep do we need to plant those?
You want them about 5 inches deep
5 inches,
when you plant them.
Okay.
Okay, and once you have planted the tulips, you want to make sure that you cover the soil back over and make sure that you water it well.
Okay. So we don't have to add, any
You don't have to add any nutrients.
Anything?
Most of our tulips or bulbs are not heavy feeders.
Okay.
So if you haven't done a soil test, then you can do that, make sure where your nutrient level is.
Okay. All right. So next you demonstrate using the drill?
Yes, we can use the drill. And what that does is just augers down into the soil, makes a nice hole for you, and it comes out. And then you have a nice hole to plant your daffodil bulb in this right depth. And just cover it over. So it makes it real easy to plant.
Okay. Now, how deep was that? Just in case
that was about 5 inches deep.
5 inches deep.
5 inches deep.
Gotcha.
So that's the way you would plant them in the fall, but it makes it a lot easier if the soil is tilled up.
Sure.
With this type of planter, you can plant in soil that has not been tilled.
Okay.
You can go down in your yard in a hard bed. So if you're wanting to naturalize a lot of bulbs, then this would be the tool that you want to use.
Okay. All right. So if you just want to use a plain old trowel, though,
you want to take a tiller or a shovel and loosen it up.
Just loosen up. We still want to loosen up, right? So we can get the bulbs in there.
Soil loose, because this will not cut through hard soil unless the bed's been loosened up.
Okay. And you just demonstrate that for us, though, just using that since we have it tilled
up. If the soil is loose, then what you want to do is twist and turn. It'll pull all the soil out.
I got you. Right.
And then you have a nice hole to put it in. And this is about 5 inches deep, so that's what you want to plant it. Then you just knock your soil back out.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that being pretty tough if the ground is not tilled.
Yeah, if the ground's not loose, then this is really a hard tool to use.
Okay. Now, can you explain to us about actually storing those bulbs, though? What's the best way to do that?
Right. You may be purchasing the bulbs earlier than 1st of November. So you want to put the bulbs in some type of refrigeration, about like your refrigerator, 38 to 50 degrees, to keep them cool for about 8 weeks before you plant the tulips. Make sure that you don't have any type of fruit in there, because the ethylene gas will kill the flower bud in the tulip bulbs.
Okay.
On that.
All right. So once you do that, then
you're good to go.
Pull them out and you're good to go.
Pull them out and good to go. And soil's cold, plant them and forget about them.
Okay. So the bulbs have to have some type of chilling requirement.
They have to have chilling requirements to be able to bloom properly.
All right.
If you don't do that and then we have a warm winter, then they don't bloom well.
Okay. Well, Lee, we appreciate that demonstration with the bulbs.
Glad to do it.
Right, thank you much. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please click the subscribe button below.